Greetings, Earthlings! It is I, Captain Thrust's nephew, Master Thrust Jr. Today, I'll be filling in for Grustony G. Grustington, the internet's grustiest member of the Council of Qualgarouche. He's tasked me with the effervescent task of tumultuousness in reviewing the new Earl Sweatshirt and The Alchemist collaboration, Voir Dire. After years of various loosies here and there, featured connections on other artists' projects, and the creepypasta-like legacy of a hidden Earl and Alchemist album under pseudonyms on YouTube, we finally have a full-length collaborative project from the odd future savant, and the producer who's probably got the greatest repertoire of collaborative albums this side of Madlib. And it's an NFT?
Fuck. See, I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna try a Weaselhosen Style. I'm gonna try Weaselhosen Style. Weaselhosen. Okay, so yeah, to address this at the top of the hour, this album drop is an NFT, kind of. Currently, there's no physical edition you can purchase, nor is there like a full digital edition on iTunes or elsewhere, nor is the full thing streaming on YouTube, Spotify, etc. As frustrating as this was to see, the full project is available for free streaming on their Gala Music website thing, so anybody can really listen to it in full, any tracks you want, shuffle it, no ads, which, you know, better than free Spotify, right? Yeah, a little annoying, I can't just like purchase a CD for myself to put in the car rotation, but the fact that it is available for us easily is very nice. Alright, back to Master Thrust Jr.
Previously on Master Thrust Jr.
I'm kind of out of the Master Thrust Jr. voice right now. Let's just talk about the album, right? Alright, feel free to check out my playlist of past reviews if you want some of the wilder affair. And usually I do a track by track installation of my thoughts. But this time we're just gonna jump right in, so here's Gruster's review. Gruster's review. Gruster's review. Excavate what I can. How you gonna allocate me my own fucking land? Starting at the end. The opening bars of this final track really cement my thoughts on the album as a whole. That unsettling feeling when home doesn't really feel like home anymore. When it doesn't even feel like you have a home at all. Earl's music has always had familial strings attached, which is often a bright reprieve for the otherwise somber rapper. Continuing with the last track, he's reincarnated, reanimated, back from the dead, and immediately counting up the reasons he loves his mother's laugh. The best one being, that's just how it is. That ethos pretty much runs parallel to my own appreciation for Earl's work. Sometimes it's just the simplicity of it being it. A perfect example is on All the Small Things, when Earl references Future saying, "Shit's colossal." Like, damn, I felt that, dude. His own response being just that straightforward, "Shit's enormous." Sometimes the simplest bars are the ones that hit hardest, you know? On the second to last song, Dead Zone, we end up with a sample of someone saying that the songs they sing are about the experiences of their everyday life. That what they speak is what they're impacted by. That an artist is ultimately human first. This mentality is reflected through Voir Dire itself, whether it's Earl's numerous mentions of now having a kid to take care of, his reminiscing on his uprising and being the one to feed the fam at 16, or the substances he takes to cope with it all, hosing down problems with gin and tonic, rolling weed slowly but learning quickly. Coinciding with this album release is the release of the game Armored Core 6. Just as a cursory viewer of the franchise, I noticed a lot of similarities. Very dense, monochromatic tones that fit their specific lane only, not really deviating from the formula because they know that it's like pure crack to those that have burrowed into it. While some might consider it a negative of the album, and of Earl's work as a whole, that it's, you know, a fairly insular sound. You're not really getting too much variety, that when a new Earl project drops, it's pretty much always going to be a 12-track album of 2-minute songs. To me, that's like the unprecedented positives, the reasons I'm reaching towards the album, what I've been hoping for and expecting, and Earl just continuing to refine his style with increasing pressure each time, crystallizing that diamond even further. While those themes of familial longing, depressed black stoner introspection carry the soul of the project as a whole, Earl never lets us forget that, oh yeah, he's also just one of the most succinctly creative lyricists of our time. Mac Deuce ends up probably my favorite song on the album, actually, starting off a great Gruster's Gold run that carries through to the
Breaking news! Breaking news! That's right, Martha. We've got a breaking news segment for you as Grust Co has now released a new criteria for their Grusters and Croosechev scientific ranking system. Yes, I hear this new incorporation is called the Gruster's Gold Run, and we've got some more info about that from Flarkus. Flarkus?
Thanks, Barnabas. We're getting reports that the Gruster's Gold Run will be used to award exemplary continuous tracks on a musical body of work. Not to be confused with Duster's Diamond Doubles, where couplings of two amazing tracks are highlighted for their beauty and expertise. A Gruster's Gold Run consists of 3 or more songs creating a gold streak on the album. All jammers, no skips.
Really, Flarkus? Tell us more!
Huh. That's kind of weird. Anyways, Mac Deuce starts this beautiful Gruster's Gold run that goes to the end of the album for me. But just as we can get some personal bars like these, Earl struggling through the malaise and hate, wondering if he's actually going to be able to change with a kid on the way, doubting he can even, we also get these efficient pipe bomb similes thrown in as usual all throughout the album. The opener brings us "They in the Red Like Forceps," which is so quintessentially an Earl bar. Something that seems so obvious yet evokes imagery I'd never really thought of or heard before. He's a snake oil salesman with the pitch on Vince Scully. He's got bloodstained messages that have never been sent. Even something like the quick toss of "it's cyclical for certain" is so sultry with the alliteration that it shows even his connected bars are well thought out, well sounding. The poet's blood has always thrived well in Random Black Dude, but he's really actualizing it even further with each release, hitting with 2-minute banger after 2-minute banger, his thoughts and life experiences interspersed with lines you'd really never hear anywhere else. Just to get an idea of his reference points, on the beautifully fluty My Brother the Wind, we start off with a Nigerian wallet made out of snake. Elsewhere on the album, Earl is shouting out the oft-forgot John C. Reilly classic Walk Hard with the Dewey Cox line, and oddly enough, he's got an affinity for extreme weather condition metaphors, as we get more bars with monsoons and quicksand, compounding on his use of those themes in the past. Whether it's a positive or a negative really relies on your own connection to music, but Earl doubling down into a style instead of experimenting with what's on the forefront, pop culturally, is honestly all I'd really want from Earl to keep doing. Reality is though, this is only halfway Earl's a project and namesake, so I think it's time we start talking about good old Uncle Al. I would personally argue that The Alchemist has a bit more of a varied style to his production than Earl does when it comes to his lyrics, but I'd still put both in the camp of staying pretty much in the lane that they know and just honing that craft even further. The soundscape to Voir Dire is pretty reminiscent of most of the collaboration albums The Alchemist has brought out in the past, honing in on that hazy looseness, exotic guitars and pensive piano playing, that bubbly twinkle of freshly poured champagne with a little something dirty mixed in. The aforementioned, aptly titled My Brother the Wind, lets the woodwind really be the star of the instrumental, with a sample that literally feels like it raises up the performance like an aircraft in flight. Hell, the opener 100 High Street hits into something I like to call the currency zone, where the opening song feels like the takeoff of a jet or rolling into the drive-in movie theater. Dead Zone brings out that stern piano with string noodling as Earl gets plastered on the wall like a flathead. All the Small Things kind of feels like being in that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory room with like the floating soda and you're just rising higher and higher, between the punchy samples and yelps tossed in there to the liminal drums and chill vibes that just beg for bong rips. The instrumentals by The Alchemist bring that same type of doubling down refinement that Earl brings with his lyrics. Of course, this doesn't come without its own slight faults. A project being so insular in sound can start to feel a bit too homogenous. The mic feature on Sentry is a great addition, but otherwise you really don't get a outbreak from Earl's perspective to see any contrast. And expectedly, there's few moments we get of songs with even a hook-like structure, the ending of Sirius Black being a nice treat. Thematically, it would be interesting to see Earl talk about other things that are kind of directly in this album. The fact that it's an NFT itself, right? What was the process behind going that route, right? You got to know there is a level of controversy attached to that, so hearing some thoughts on that would be interesting. Or taking the opportunity for titling a song like Sirius Black and using it to get even below the surface just a little of, enjoying the art of a problematic artist. One of my favorite moments comes towards the end on Free the Ruler, where he talks about a streetcar called Pride tossing niggas in the morgue. And it's like, damn. No matter how you think of it, whether it's in the most simplistic of terms about pride being people's own downfall, or we're literally taking it to current events where just hanging a pride flag can get you murdered and sent to the morgue by someone else, It's definitely a bar that really stands out to me. So the biggest negative that I could really ascribe the album, outside of not being able to purchase it, is we really don't get to see a contrast from Earl, see him experimenting with something different, incorporating, a new style, something being brought up, right? But as someone myself who generally hates jack of all projects that just try and appeal to everyone and stick everything in there, I greatly appreciate taking a narrow scope and really honing in on what you do. And Earl and Alchemist, as always, deliver. So I'm once again satisfied with another yearly-ish release of 12-track 2-minute bangers from Mr. Sweatshirt. I don't know, let's give this like a 8.7 out of 10. Sounds pretty right. What are your thoughts on the Earl and Al collaboration? Maybe there's an album coming soon you'd like me to review. Maybe I should do more Grusterius review with fake tracks, or maybe you like this format better. Let me know in the comments and Mr. Goo will try and do it for you. But until then, like and subscribe, and then until then, remember to stay tuned for next time, where until then, we'll keep it gooey. I should do a credit song. I should do a song for these credits. I should do a song for these credits. This is a song with credits in the song. I did a song about credits and I turned to Oh, I really hope I didn't. Oh, dang, that's gonna suck if I touched the wires and I made myself dark at any time. Did I make myself dark?